tell us a little more about what this idea is all about, how you came up with it, and what is the one's involvement in the Power of One?
Okay. My wife would say, you don't ask that question because that means we're going to be here till tomorrow.
Could you briefly...
Can we make a short one? Short version. We were in London 4 or 5 years ago, and basically we met Craig at an event. I was listening to Craig. At that time, I just had my open heart surgery. I think that has a part to do with it. I think I was starting to wondering about, before that, when you're young, you don't really, life is forever. When you get a little bit older, you start to think, okay, but there must be a meaning with this, or why am I here, and that's where the whole slogan started as a slogan. But what I was thinking about, when I was dreaming this company, I thought success is going to make me happy. It doesn't. So that day when you get to what people call success, then you're ending up in that place that you realize that it has nothing to do with money or whatever it is that you gain out of that so-called success. You're probably getting actually more headaches because you have more people around you, you have more things to do. So I think I started wondering about the reasoning for life, and that's how simple it started. I think we all do that at some stage in life. And that's where the whole thing came up that, wow, does the world really need another retailer? But then at the same time, as I think in different colors and different levels, and my left and my right brain is kind of simultaneously fighting each other or working together, I don't know which one. Business-wise, I think it just makes perfect sense if you think about something. Whatever I do, I'll start with me, and then trickles down into the company, and all the people working in the company has an effect on the world. Doesn't it make sense then that we try to do the best we can? In the same time, how do we get the best players on our team? Again, looking at my daughters and looking at the young generations and start to be interested in what actually school does to you, because school does a lot of damage, I think, to you. The school system we have today, for example, was set for the beginning of the 1900s. It was made for people to work in factories. So when I went to school, and you still do it when you go to school today, and I look at what my kids doing, and of course different systems do it differently, but you still have to remember, repeat and remember mostly useless crap. And I think my hard drive feels pretty full of useless crap that I learned. Today that you can get the Google. Now, today, I think the young generation need to learn is more that what do you do with all this enormous amount of information that you get today that we didn't have. Multitasking when I was a kid was doing my home study and having a record of music on, and my mother was thinking this is not very good. Multitasking of kids today, when I look at my daughters, is basically they are on the SMS and the telephone, at the same time they are doing something on the Facebook, music on, and schoolwork. So we have to 4 or 5 things at the same time. I don't know if it's good or bad, but that's just how it is. They are multi-processing all these things. An enormous amount of information that we didn't do. So I think it's more important, it's not, yes, you need to learn a little bit of history. You need to kind of get a touch of things so you maybe get really interested in something. And you want to read or learn more history in the future. But you need to learn what to do with this information. And then you need, I think, because you are more and more on computers, you need to learn to actually interact with each other. Which I think it comes back to that generation, our kids, and of course I think about it more because they are now 15 to 19 years old. This is the next generation, and this is what we're going to leave the planet to. So I start a company, now we're successful, great, it's a big company, big successful businessman. So what? What about if I'm like Walmart? The people working in Walmart do not get insurances, they don't have health insurance. The manufacturers to them are basically squeezed down to, no, I can't, I think it's about conscious. I can't live with that. It would be much cooler to have, I mean, we always make fun in the family that I had a very small family. My father died when I was 5, and Eva's family, my wife, is huge. So I want to have a family. And as I had nothing as a kid, this is security I'm kind of looking for, but I want that security for my whole family, which is the whole tribe. And I don't know, that's just my personality. I'm the right brain in the family, a lot of emotions, empathy. Eva is more the stable one, keeps me here when I go up there or when I go down there. So the whole idea is, I think, it's a combination of all the things you just heard me saying. It's never a straight answer with me. It's all these things going around at the same time. So it makes I start to be more proud in the whole trip then, and when all these things happening, and then things coming to you. People coming telling you things. And suddenly things opens up, and if you are open to listen to people, and sometimes you are and sometimes you're not. The more you listen, as we said, listen with really listening, not just listening, then you will learn things. And the more from that simple thing about just, and it started when I met Craig, the simple thing was, how do we change the world? If you're going to get rid of fanatism, it must be through education. That's how simple it was. And then there's $400 or $4,000, I think it was, for a classroom. Cool, we can do 22,000 of them. Half a year later, things started to say, no, wait, what about if the 70% of all the classrooms we have open doesn't work? Have no teachers? And that started to be even more complicated. I met Craig more, started to understand what they're doing, because it is a holistic thing. You can't get kids to the school if you don't look at all the other parts. They want to go to school, they really want to go to school, but if they have to support the family to survive, you can't say you have to go to school. I met this Maasai warrior who really cool, very nice man. And he told me the story how he got to school. The government decided everybody's going to go to school, and they started with the boys. And he was 4 years old. He didn't want to go to school. I mean, if I had a choice, I don't want to go to school when I'm 4 years old, 6 years old, I guess. These kids in general today wants to go to school. That's what's so amazing. And Oprah said something lately that I think is really interesting. She said, it's interesting how we're giving the opportunity to our kids in America and also in the ghettos, etc., in America to actually go to school. And they are not very interested. And you go to Africa and they just are so hungry to go to school. They just want to go and learn.